My mom used to quote Chuck Palahniuk, "The lower you fall, the higher you'll fly." It took me years to realize just how true that statement was. "Aya, your time will come," everyone would say. I wanted to believe them, but I was just so caught up in the negative I could not think straight. The year was 2016, and this is how the story started. We had been living a steady but stressful life in Santa Clarita, California, at a nice, quiet apartment complex. Bills were starting to pile up, and we started falling further and further behind. Christmas was steadily approaching. I knew we would have a hard time with rent, let alone afford Christmas presents for the kids. We scrounged up what little cash we had and tried to pay our already late rent and had exhausted our loan options. I came home from work to a 3-day payer quit tacked to our door. Stressed beyond comprehension, we called his dad hoping he could help us, so we weren't left without a roof over our heads. He couldn't help. My parents couldn't help either. They had a mortgage of their own. 3 days came and went, and we finally realized that we weren't going to be able to save it, so we started packing up our belongings and putting them into storage. We attempted one last time and went to court to beg the judge for mercy, but that did not work either. So began our path to homelessness and defeat. I looked at my children. Ava was 8 and Emmeline was 5. They didn't know what we were going through or how we would get enough money to put a roof over our heads. We moved between sleeping at my parents' to me and my husband sleeping in our truck, and when we had enough money together, we would book a nice hotel room. I tried to stay positive, but was swallowed up with anger, hate, and sadness that my family did not have a place to call our own. Throughout the ordeal, I made sure my kids were in school every day and we continued to work, sometimes not even having a place to shower or even wash our clothes, but it wasn't all bad. We also became stronger as a family unit. We had barbecues, we enjoyed the motel pools, we went on walks in Bridgeport, picnics in the park, ate at our favorite pizza place in Venice, and created memories that lasted a lifetime. Mom, I would say, she was someone I could talk to about just anything, seeing as she lived so close to us. "Why can't we get it together?" I would ask her. She would always say, "You will, baby, you will. Keep praying, and it would all fall into place." I didn't believe it, but I kept pushing forward, till the night we were robbed. As I lay sleeping, I suddenly heard a loud bang. As I woke from my sleep, I saw someone rummaging through the bed of the truck through the small dark tinted windows. I froze. I then jumped up quickly to see him running off with our backpack with most of our clothes and toiletries that I had left in the back, as I was so tired from work and the barbecue grill and our few personal other items. I felt so defeated, so broken, and so angry. I cursed God. Why? Why can't we catch a damn break in so many words as I threw the rock into the stark darkness. I dropped off my kids at my mother's and took off for a few days, wondering what we should do, contemplating where we went wrong and not sure what tomorrow would bring. As the next few days went by, I sat and pondered, walked around the parks, cried, laughed, and looked deep into my situation. How will we ever recover from this? Where will we go? What will we do? There's so much that I don't even know how to rebuild. I looked on in uncertainty. I ended up back at my parents' for 3 months. Things got tense. Two families, my families, getting into it almost every night. My husband and my parents constantly butting heads. I was torn and put in the middle, and I just scared of what we would do next. This went on for 2 long, stressful, and tedious years. Through the good and the bad, the ugly, we continued with this uphill battle. I finally got tired of it. After failed attempts to get my husband to get us housing, we both sat down and came up with a game plan. After conferring with his mother and his sister, we decided to sell what we could, and we packed up the rest, and we would move to Humboldt County in California. We both put in our 2-week notices to our jobs and let the kids finish their last 2 weeks as well. We packed up both cars, loaded the kids, and started the long, rough journey to what would be our new life and new home. We made it to Eureka from LA in a day. We left at 9 a.m. that morning and arrived in town around 11:45 that night. I couldn't believe my car made that long trip. My kids did well, and I did pretty darn good for driving almost 760 miles for the first time. That was almost a year ago. We stayed with his family for 6 months. All the while, my husband got a job for a major corporate company. I started working at an ophthalmologist office, and we saved all we could. Although we still have some troubles as to no one wanting to rent to us due to our eviction on our credit, we had a hard time getting anyone to give us a chance, and it was one denial after another. After months of endless applications, I moved back home for 3 months because I felt like we were going down the same path, but eventually moved back in May. That's when we came up with another plan and started looking to buy a trailer. With help from his parents and mine, we got ourselves a nice Keystone trailer. We park at a local RV park. The rent is affordable, and we are rebuilding our credit. My kids go to school less than a mile away from our home, and we both have full-time jobs also close to home, something we both enjoy compared to living in SoCal. We were trying to manage our money better. Bills always get paid first. Anything extra goes towards our necessities. We don't ever want to end up like we did again, so we work hard to keep our family unit intact. Being homeless taught us to appreciate what we have. It taught me and my husband that we need to be strong for our kids even when we feel like breaking down. The main thing it taught us was to be smarter with our spending choices, and lastly, having a support system is always a great thing to have. If it weren't for the help we got from various friends and family, our days would have been a lot harder. We fly high now, but I hope we can continue to soar even higher.